Let's talk about the character that I wrote for this film. It was the only person that I wanted to show in this film, but besides showing everybody else as a silhouette, as a shadow, I decided to have one character that was a real life character, which was the manager that got me into the different comedy shows as I got a name for myself. And I wanted to get myself a manager to book me for shows and everything like that. So when I wrote the script out, I came up with this character that my dude Kevin played. And I had the character originally as a serious character. It was written in as a serious person who came in and he was going to be like on the serious side of things. But when Kev did the character, he improvised and he improved it and he put his own spin on the character that was off strip. And to me, the best things on film that make history, to make things happen, is when you can improv. And some of the greatest things happen on film. You go back and watch a lot of classic films, you realize that a lot of the things that was improv became famous quotes, and real famous quotes and sayings throughout cinema history. So when we did the scene, he had played this dude named Christopher Schwartz. I thought that was just a funny name. And he would start doing the sniffing part, what I made it seem like he had anxiety and he was like, seemed like he was on drugs. It seemed like he was just fast talking. It seemed like he was a scammer kind of like, should I trust this dude? Should I not? So when he started doing the character, I was dying laughing, man. I'm like, yo, Kev was bringing this character to life. He's really making it happen. So I let him go with it, and he went off script and he went with it, man. Took the basic things that was on the script and just came up with his own personality for the character, and it was so funny, man. We went with it, and when we first met, when we do the little handshake, and I'll be like, "Hey," and he'd be like, we go back and forth. That was all taken from one of my favorite comedies, which was The Step Brothers. You know what I'm saying? They're just paying homage to that movie when we do that. And when I found Cav's silhouette before he steps on the scene, and I talk about his character, who he was, it took me like an hour, because it wasn't easy as you may think it was. Like it really, really wasn't. The hardest part of doing this film was getting the silhouettes to match up with the people who I was talking about and everything like that. And I had to match it up with real people like myself. I had to make the silhouettes look similar to me and people in real life that I knew. uh, Even though they was made up, but it was like certain people in my the characters of my imagination. I had to get silhouettes that look similar to that. I also had to get silhouettes that looked it close to like uh black men. And also had to look at silhouettes that looked at like comedians. I had to get silhouettes that look close to like back in the day um from the era that I was born. I learned a lot from doing these different silhouettes of different styles. So when I got Cav's silhouette, I found the silhouette that looked close to him with the hair, his body, excuse features and everything like that. I found it. It was just like poof. Um, that's how the silhouettes came through me while I was doing this film. It had to just it had to come to me. I had to go out there and find it, and it had to just come to me. It's hard to really explain it. So when I found the silhouette, I found like three of them, I think it was, and had them come into the living room and we shook hands and everything like that. And there was a deleted scene that I never put in this film. I just thought it stretched it out too long. Where we actually got drunk. You know what I mean? Like later on, we became best friends, and his twist was vodka or some twist like that, whiskey, and my twist was the IPA beers, and we just went back and forth, drunk. He wasn't really drunk in real life. A lot of times when people do scenes, they get deep into the character. They really get stoned, and they really get drunk, so they can really bring out their character. But we was pretending, and I'm telling you, man, it looked it real. You know what I mean? It looked it real. It looked it real. We had a lot of fun doing that. It just happened not to get into the film. Also, we pay homage to the movie Tales from the Hood. Kev had it like the folder. You don't know what the folder is. He pulls it up and it's the contract. You know what I mean? And you don't really see it per se. He opens it up and says, "Welcome to hell, motherfucker." And another thing I want to talk about is I had my daughter in this movie, but just a silhouette, not of how she really looked. My oldest daughter, and in this film, I just supposed to have just one daughter. In real life, I got three daughters, and a silhouette of the daughter that I was supposed to have before I went to prison looked nothing like my real daughter, nothing like her as well. So I did just wanted to get a generic picture of a silhouette of a young black girl, which was a young black baby. I just wanted to let you know that the daughter that I had, she was a young black girl. And I used my daughter's middle name, Carnisha. I used that middle name as a first name, and just, put that up in the movie, and I just went with that. So those little parts like that, fabricated it, twisted around just a little teeny bit, you know. And the love interest, that's what I want to talk about right now, which was I originally was going to have my baby mom that went to, when I went to prison when I was like 21. She was going to wait for me and we was going to get married when I got out. And we was going to get married while I was in prison. The original script when I wrote it, we was gonna get married while I was in prison, and then I changed it to after I got out of prison, and then we wound up getting a family and moving on, And she waited for me, and then I went back and I had to realize like that does happen, like that does happen. I seen it with my own eyes. People do wait, and it's not like a drawn out, unrealistic live story. But I had to put it just like a little spin on it to make it a little differently because it sounded like something too real that could have really truly happened. Um, I can't predict the future. I was had my first daughter when I was 19. If I would have got locked up or something would have happened back then, the woman I would now, what she would have waited, I can't call that. I really deep down think she would have, but only time would have told, the universe would have told. So I had to look at it like you young, early 20s, from a 21-year-old mind. I had to think that way when I wrote the script, that the chick wouldn't have waited, that she would have got bored, and she would have got lonely, and she would have just moved on and she would have just found somebody else. So when I wrote it, I had to think from a 21-year-old mind, and to me it made it just a little teeny bit more realer at that particular age, So I wound up having 10 years go past, and I got out doing a comedy thing, and I ain't really talk about no other females uh, that I was deep involved with after that particular incident. I just made it, I focused on comedy and getting my life together and trying to build a relationship with my daughter, and I kept like the love interest part out. And then at the end, I'll talk about what I ever find that one. I gave reference to my wife in real life. So I put silhouettes up of the black females, and they all was Afrocentric silhouettes of females with natural hair, afros, locks, and sister locks, because it gave reference to my wife now, who has sister locks. You know what I mean? So there's like a little inside joke or inside thing that I did, letting people know that my wife of now that I'm married with, been married with for a long time, has the natural look, the natural hair. She is black. And but in the movie, I just played like I was just looking for that number one. You know what I mean? But right here above me, while I'm sitting in my chair right here, in my recliner, enjoying the fireplace that's over there. You know what I mean? Enjoying life to the fullest. Um, my wife behind me, we've been together, as you can see. That's me at 25 years old, folks. That's when I got married. 2001. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the picture, you will see that my eyes is real glassy or whatever like that, and I'm smiling and I'm in the zone. But that's because, believe it or not, I had a bachelor party the day before I got married. And trust me, I will never ever do that again. If I had to go back in time, I mean, things happen for a reason. It was meant for that to happen, I guess. But if I had to go back in time and do it over, I would never had a bachelor party the day before I got married. A week or two, a month before. But it is what it is. But if you really look into that picture, when we got married, you will see the before effects of before the pre-marriage. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it right there and let you know marriage is a beautiful thing. You gotta work at it. You know, it's all about communication. And for men, point of view, keep your damn mouth shut. And that's the most realest thing that I could say. Certain things you just gotta keep to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keep to yourself. Watch your words. Respect each other's boundaries and each other's space more than anything. Communication and all that is great, but respect each other's space, respect each other's views. You're not going to agree on every damn thing. You know what I mean? And that's just some words from a married man. And I don't want to never hear from nobody that ain't been married more than 10 years. If you ain't been married more than 10 years, I don't want your damn advice on nothing. That's just my rule. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in some work. You got to be seasoned. We got to be able to compare to some things. 10 years is a nice amount of long time to be with a person, because you be with a person for more than that and still don't know them. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing. I'd like to thank you for tuning in behind the scenes talking about this film, This Lonely Road. I hope you've seen it in a lot of my other films on my channel, Big Den Productions. I got a lot more coming this year, 2026, a new year rolling in. I'm going to be doing it way big, always representing Philly, baby, all day, every day, the Mad Lyrical Wolf. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like this video. I'll see you on the next film soon. Peace.